This is the Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Key Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Jacqueline Coley. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. As President Adama Barrow and his entourage, who continue their spiritual journey in Saudi Arabia, visited the Prophet's Mosque in Medina and Mount Uhud, the site of one of the defining battles in Islamic history. ECOWAS, through its Water Resources Management Center, hopes to construct more than 200 solar-powered autonomous water stations across member states by 2027. In keeping with this, it has launched, in partnership with the government of the Gambia, a nationwide solar-powered autonomous water station project. The ECOWAS Parliament has concluded a week-long citizens' engagement in the Gambia aimed at tackling irregular migration. A two-day training course aimed at strengthening local capacity and equipping participants with the skills required to operate and support the implementation and management of the National ID Management System ended on Friday. In sports news, the 23rd edition of the Commonwealth Games is scheduled to take place from July 23rd to August 2nd, 2026, and we profile the 12 competitors who will be carrying the Gambia's hopes. Those were the headlines, now the news in detail. Many thanks for joining us. President Adama Barrow and his delegation continued their spiritual journey in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on Friday with one of the most profound moments of the visit, a return to the Prophet's Mosque in Medina, where the president joined thousands of worshippers for Jummah prayers. The delegation also visited Mount Uhud, the site of the defining battles in Islamic history. As Alusise reports, the president is now in Mecca for the actual Umrah.
Earlier on Friday, the president and his delegation, including Lady Sergeant Barrow, Chief of Staff Aliou Lomd, and Commissioner General Yankuba Dabo, had the rare privilege of offering their greetings at the sacred area of Masjid al-Nabawi. By the afternoon, they returned to stand shoulder to shoulder with fellow Muslims at Islam's second holiest mosque after the Holy Kaaba. Built by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, following his migration from Mecca to Medina, Masjid al-Nabawi is one of Islam's most revered landmarks. It welcomes millions of pilgrims each year who come not only to pray, but also to visit the Rauda, described by the Prophet as a garden from paradise. The Rauda occupies the sacred space between the Prophet's home and his pulpit. It is also where Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was laid to rest alongside his closest companions and the first two caliphs, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and Umar ibn al-Khattab. The president's 6-day visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia also took him beyond the Prophet's Mosque to other landmarks deeply woven into Islamic history. One of those stops was Masjid Quba, the first mosque established by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, after his migration from Mecca. Revered by Muslims around the world, the mosque symbolizes the very foundation of faith, devotion, and God consciousness. Islamic tradition holds that anyone who performs ablution before leaving home and offers 2 rakas of prayer at Masjid Quba receives a reward equivalent to that of performing an Umrah. The delegation also visited Mount Uhud, the site of one of the defining battles in Islamic history. It was here, more than 14 centuries ago, that the Battle of Uhud unfolded between the early Muslims and the Quraysh of Mecca. Though the Muslims suffered heavy losses, including the ultimate sacrifice of Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib, the beloved uncle of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the battle remains one of the most enduring lessons in discipline, sacrifice, and obedience. The resting place of Hamza still stands at the foot of Mount Uhud, serving as a powerful reminder of the sacrifice made during Islam's formative years. Ibn Dur, the Gambia's Consul General in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, said the battle's lessons remain relevant today as they were 14 centuries ago.
Is that it's important to follow instructions, and because they fail to do that, the battle turned against the Muslim after Allah has already given them victory in the onset.
The president and delegation departed Medina for the holy city of Makkah today evening, where he will perform Umrah before holding a series of engagements. The president is also using his visit to pray for himself, his family, and the Gambia for lasting peace, stability, and progress, as well as for peaceful elections in December. Reporting for Qtv News, I am Aliou Cisse.
The Economic Community of West African State, through its Water Resources Management Center and in partnership with the government of the Gambia, has launched a nationwide solar-powered autonomous water station project. The initiative will provide safe drinking water to 15 rural communities while strengthening access to clean water across the country. Usman Jata reports.
For many rural communities across West Africa, access to safe drinking water is a daily challenge. Families travel long distances to fetch water. Children lose valuable school hours, and preventable waterborne diseases continue to affect thousands. To help address the problem, ECOWAS, through its Water Resources Management Center, hopes to construct more than 200 solar-powered autonomous water stations across member states by 2027. In Busura village in the West Coast region, traditional Jola drummers welcome guests to the official launch, marking the beginning of the project in the Gambia. The first phase in the Gambia will see 15 solar-powered water stations built in 15 communities across all regions of the country. The project is expected to provide safe and reliable drinking water to more than 8,000 vulnerable people. Busura Alkalo Pa Aliou Faye and District Chief Dembo Juju Bojang welcomed the initiative, describing it as a major boost for their community.
This visit is not just a ceremonial moment. It marks a significant step forward in our shared journey towards better health, improved livelihood, and sustainable development.
It is no mistake having it launched here. So it's going to be a blessing for this country and the community at large.
The Gambia joins the second phase of the regional program following the implementation of similar projects in Ivory Coast, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. Speaking at the ceremony, ECOWAS Commission President Dr. Omar Aliou Touré called on communities, particularly women, to take ownership of the facilities.
The autonomous water stations that we are launching today is composed of a borehole, a 10 cubic meter water tower, water distribution points, all of which are powered by solar energy. It is a sustainable system and designed to ease the burden on vulnerable populations.
The initiative is also expected to strengthen climate-resilient water infrastructure while supporting the government's effort to improve public health in rural communities. Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources Musa S. Drame officially launched the project.
Providing clean and safe drinking water is a constitutional responsibility of the government. In fulfillment of this obligation, the government has over the past 4 years financed through domestic resources the construction and rehabilitation of more than 30 rural water supply systems, benefiting thousands of people across the country. The ECOWAS-supported project further reinforces these national achievements.
When completed across the region, the program will deliver more than 200 solar-powered water stations, benefiting over 1 million people throughout ECOWAS member states. Osman Jata, QTV News.
The ECOWAS Parliament has concluded a week-long parliamentary citizen engagement in the Gambia, reinforcing calls for stronger action against irregular migration and human trafficking. Held under the theme, Know the Risks, Choose the Right Path, the outreach brought together stakeholders in Bakau, Brikama, and Barra to discuss the root causes of irregular migration and modern slavery. Aliou Cisse reports.
During the closing press briefing on Friday, the head of the Gambian delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament and its first Deputy Speaker, Honorable Bilaji Tunkara, said the engagement revealed that unemployment, poverty, limited access to education and vocational skills, and the lack of sustainable economic opportunities remain the leading factors driving young people to undertake dangerous migration journeys.
Many young people express view that the opportunities currently available within the country do not provide realistic pathway to secure a prosperous future, thereby reinforcing the perception that migration offers a few viable means to improve their livelihood. Secondly, participants highlighted the significant influence of family expectation, peer pressure, and social media on migration decisions.
During the interface, the delegation heard first-hand testimonies from returnees and survivors of trafficking who recounted experiences of deception, forced labor, exploitation, detention, abuse, and severe psychological trauma. The delegation described these testimonies as powerful tools for preventing others from embarking on similar journeys.
Participants, nevertheless, recognize that survivors and returnees can become powerful advocates to prevent that their testimonies constitute one of the most credible means of sensitizing young people in our community at large.
Specifically for the Gambia, the delegation urged authorities to accelerate the passage of the immigration bill, review the National Agency Against Trafficking in Persons Act to address emerging challenges, and expand development programs in communities most affected by irregular migration.
And integrate education on irregular migration and trafficking in schools' curriculum, including social studies and civic education from primary to tertiary level, and strengthening investment in modern surveillance and border control equipment to enhance the capacity of security agencies to prevent and combat irregular migration and migrant smuggling.
The week-long engagement concluded on a symbolic note with a football match at the Senegambia football field, using sport as a platform to engage young people and reinforce a message of hope, resilience, and informed decision-making. The delegation pledged to continue promoting people-centered parliamentary engagements across member states to ensure citizens' voice shape policies. Reporting for Qtv News, I am Aliou Cisse.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more national and sports news stories. To stay tuned. Welcome back, and this is Qtv News, and I'm Jacqueline Coley. Here are the rest of tonight's stories. The National Identity Management System, in collaboration with the Gambia Immigration Department, the Gambia Police Force, on Friday concluded two-day training course aimed at strengthening local capacity and equipping participants with the skills required to operate and support the implementation and management of the National Identity Management System. Senabu Chow was at the closing ceremony, and this is our report.
The closing ceremony of the two-day training of the National Identity Management System bring together key stakeholders, partners and participants committed to strengthen identity management in the Gambia. Officials highlighted the importance of the initiative in building national capacity and ensuring that Gambians are equipped with the knowledge required to support and manage the system sustainably.
What I would tell the Gambians is that this is a very good project. It has come to help the Gambia. It's going to help them to improve services, and it's going to help them to have a clean database. This database will help the government to take decisions and do things that will improve their economy. And then everybody will be who they say he is. People will only exist once in the database to ensure that everybody is uniquely identified.
That was the Sylvia Botmasare, Chief Operating Officer, IMS. Samba Jika, Binta Jadama and ASI Malang Bojang, who were among the participants, expressed appreciation and shared their experiences and the knowledge gained during the two-day training course.
This is a kind of training that we never had previously. Basically, this training will give us a lot in reference of and terms of the way we are going to do our work day-to-day work in offices.
I'm honored to be part of this training session, and the knowledge we've gained so far, what we've experienced from this training with the new company that have taken over the Gambia Identity Card System, that is the Margins Group. We've learned a lot. they've thought about accountability, and then they've emphasized more on integrity, because as police officers, that is very important when it comes to our role, because we are dealing with the general public. And then they've also enhanced us about our responsibilities, and then how to communicate, and then how to deal with the general public at large.
The most fascinating part of it is that where you are enrolled, it's where you will get your card. That is 80%. We believe 80% will get their cards immediately after enrollment, which is different from the other one. This will minimize the labor that we were going through, and then secondly, it is going to reduce our job as well. We will have all our data intact, and then the cards will be issued immediately after the enrollment. It is not like go and come tomorrow, which many people get frustrated, and at the end of the day, they will not even collect their cards anymore.
This training aligns with government's efforts to enhance identity management and ensure Gambians take the lead in managing their own key national systems. Reporting for QTV News, I am Zainabu Chow.
The National Water and Electricity Company NAWEC Credit Union on Saturday held its annual general meeting AGM to present its annual report for the financial year ending 2025. Yafa Tugay reports.
The meeting was held under the theme Building Stronger Credit Unions Through Strategic Consolidation, bringing together members and stakeholders to review the union's performance and discuss future plans. The chairman of the credit union, Tijan Mane, and treasurer, Jere Ture, presented the annual report, highlighting the progress made by the union over the past year, including improvements in its financial performance and continued commitment to serving its members.
During the year under review, our credit union's cumulative asset increased by 13% from 206,229,421 in 2024 to 234,938,963 in 2025.
NAWEC credit unions gained significant increase in assets. Increased to 234 million 234.94 million in 2025, coming from 206 million 6.23 million in 2024, indicating a 13.92% increase.
NAWEC's Deputy Managing Director, Sumpo Sise, commended the leadership and members of the credit union for their dedication and encouraged them to continue strengthening the institution for the benefit of its members.
So I'm honored to be here to witness this AGM. And as I mentioned, from the financial statements, it shows that the NAWEC AGM is growing and the members are really benefiting from the services of the AGM. And I think that I can also say that management is fully supportive of the AGM, and not only the AGM, but all other staff associations of NAWEC.
The credit union also announced one of its major initiatives for 2026, a partnership with Yona Wallet, which is expected to make it easier for members to send, receive, and transfer money, improving access to financial services and enhancing convenience. The event concluded with a vote of thanks delivered by the credit union's operational manager, Mariama Jaju, who thanked members, management, and partners for their continued support and participation.
As we live here today, let us continue working together in the spirit of cooperation, unity, and shared responsibility to build an even stronger and more prosperous credit union for the benefit of all our members.
All those in attendance appeared to agree that the union lived up to this year's theme, Getting Stronger Through Coalitions. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatu Gay.
Coming up next is sports news. The Gambia is set to be represented at the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games in athletics, judo, swimming and cycling, with 12 competitors preparing to raise the Gambia's flag to great heights. Our sports reporter Mamoudou Gajaga profiles the 12 competitors.
The Gambia will be sending a 12-member team consisting of 7 track athletes, 2 swimmers, 2 judokas, and 1 cyclist. Gina Mariam Bass-Bitte will mark her return to competitive athletics at the tracks in Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games after her maternity break. She is expected to lead the team of Gambian female sprinters, including emerging talent Aissatou Sy, Nyimansata Jaune, and the talented Hadi Jaju, will take to the tracks in the women's 100 and 200-meter events. After recovering from injury at the Islamic Games, Ibrahima Kamara, the first Gambian sprinter to run under 10 seconds, will also be at the Glasgow Games. Aliou Diouf, a steady, consistent and experienced sprinter who was part of the Gambian relay team at the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games, is also part of the Gambia's strong contingent. Young emerging athlete Lamin Kamara will also join the team to represent the country in the men's 100 and 200-meter events. In judo, Fai Alex Njai will be hoping to defend or even improve upon the silver medal he won in Birmingham in 2022 Commonwealth Games, where he competed in a breathtaking display in the 76-kilogram category. Also competing will be Abdurrahman Cisse, one of the growing judokas in the Gambia, gaining significant experience in the sub-region and the continental competitions. In the pool, Pap D. Jonga and Usman Job will be leading the lineup in the swimming after their recent competitions in the Islamic Games and Olympic Games. These experiences mean they will be expected to improve their various categories. Cyclist Aliou Jammeh will be the Gambia's sole cycling representative at the Glasgow 2026 Games, which are scheduled for the 23rd of July to the 3rd of August 2026. Mamadou Gajaga, Qtv News.
And before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. As President Adama Barrow and his entourage continued their spiritual journey in Saudi Arabia, visited the Prophet's mosque in Medina and Mount Uhud, the site of one of the defining battles in Islamic history. ECOWAS, through its Water Resources Management Center, hopes to construct more than 200 solar-powered autonomous water stations across member states by 2027. In keeping with this, it has launched, in partnership with the government of the Gambia, a nationwide solar-powered autonomous water project station. The ECOWAS Parliament has concluded a week-long citizens' engagement in the Gambia aimed at tackling irregular migration. A 2-day training course aimed at strengthening local capacity and equipping participants with the skills required to operate and support the implementation and management of the National ID Management System ended on Friday. In sports news, the 23rd edition of the Commonwealth Games is scheduled to take place from July 23rd to August 2nd, 2026, and we profile the 12 competitors who will be carrying the Gambia's hope. That's all for this news. Join us tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the Week in Review with Ade Darame and Mamadou Mboj. Thanks for watching.